Hello and welcome to Stories from the Red Couch, episode 51. I'm Robyn Cook and today my guest is Dani Jones, choir master extraordinaire. Welcome, Dani.
Thanks, Rob. No, lovely to be here.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
I'm loving the light.
I know. We wait for the light, as you all know, and the light is fabulous.
It is fabulous.
It is. It is. Thanks for joining me. It's so nice to finally get to chat with you
Yes,
here.
I've been loving your stories on the Red Couch. So
Thank you.
I'm very chuffed to be here.
Yeah, and I'm really keen to talk about the work that you're doing with your choir, New World Rhythm.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm really captivated by your earrings. I'm aware that you sing a lot of African songs. Tell me about that.
We do sing a lot of African songs. They're vibrant and they're rich and they feel good in your mouth when you sing them because they've got these really interesting vowel patterns and consonants and stuff. But these earrings I bought in Kampala when I was in Uganda last year.
Okay.
So they are very special to me because it was an amazing experience going over there.
I saw some of the photos that you took. Well, what would have been a couple of the highlights of that trip?
We sung in a maximum security prison unexpectedly. In this enormous quadrant area with all of the prisoners, about 1,000 male prisoners in there, and went through lots of security checks to go through. And I remember Scott, the guy who took us in there, he's saying to me, so one of the songs you're going to conduct, the choir, and then can you encourage the prisoners to join in the end part that's in Ugandan?
Wow.
And I said, so not last minute or anything, but you want me to conduct 1,000 male prisoners to sing something they've never heard before. So that was a little, it worked and it happened.
I mean, some people would just completely melt down at something so impromptu. How did you manage that?
I don't know, I took a deep breath and went, well, just do it.
Fantastic.
So that was wonderful. And another highlight, we taught in the slum schools, and that was amazing. These tiny little dirt floor classrooms with no natural lighting, and they'd fit up to 120 kids in there. And they were so thirsty for anything that you could give them. And these schools in the slum areas of Kampala cost money. It's about $15 a term, Australian. But there were children all looking through the barred doors who couldn't afford that, and they just looked through these heartbreaking scenes. But the love and the enthusiasm of the children over there was just amazing. It was an incredible experience. The colour of the place, like it's so orange and I don't know, it's hard to describe.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Where are you going next?
I'm going to Europe.
Ooh, happy dance.
Oh, it's I can't
exciting. So the whole choir, are you all going over?
Some of us, probably just a little over half.
That's great.
Going, which is
fabulous.
Wonderful. So I'm bundling those crazy cats into a bus. We start in Prague and go through Vienna and Salzburg and end up in Budapest.
Wow, that's so exciting. So how did that come about?
It came about with just a random idea one day when I said, you know what, we should go on tour somewhere.
So not like Brisbane.
No.
Or the Gold Coast.
No. So, and I know I have several conducting friends and I know that they've done some tours overseas, and I said, like, how did you go about that? And so there's actually specialist tour groups that will organise choir tours.
Oh, fantastic.
So my friend Chris, who's a bass in the choir, has done so much hard work, so much legwork, and he's organised us to go on tour.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So it's equally terrifying and exciting for me anyway.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you've had some experience in touring, haven't you?
Not this sort of touring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the touring I did in Africa was with the African Children's Choir, and they're so professional and so it's an amazing organisation. So I didn't have to worry too much about it. This time, there will be, a busload of 33 Australians going to lots of breweries in Europe, and we have to get to the gigs on time in the right place.
In the right attire.
And yeah.
And that's a real thing too. I've watched some of your performances on YouTube and so forth, which are fabulous, as well as live. But I'm really taken with the outfits that choirs, when you go to a choir festival, everyone has their outfits. How did you come up with yours?
We have the best story behind ours. We we predominantly wear black underneath, which a lot of choirs do,
Yes.
just because everyone can find black clothes, they're accessible. And we originally had a very simple scarf that you wore over one shoulder or around your waist or however you wanted to do it. But they were getting a bit tired and we thought we'd try something new. And one of the tenors, who's just this creative marvel, Jana, she went and found these scarves for a couple of bucks each, and
Wow.
she tied them in these special ways, and so there's this full rainbow across,
Of
and
scarves.
each colour represents a different section of the choir, you know, soprano, alto,
All
tenor,
right.
bass.
Good.
And
I'm glad there's some sort of sequence to that,
Yeah.
because I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the beauty of it,
Yeah,
thinking
It's
that
very-
there would be more
it's
to it.
beautiful, and all of the stage lighting, it just really shows it up. And
Mm.
she was really creative, so we stuck with that.
That's fantastic. And you've had a lot of gigs around, so I've
Yeah.
seen you at a few of them. Woodford is,
Woodford was a highlight.
yeah.
Yeah.
What year was that?
2012, 13.
Okay.
Yep. I was only conducting the choir for about a year and a half before that gig came along, so I feel like I could probably do it more justice now, of
Yeah.
course, because I've been doing it for longer, but
Sure.
in hindsight, we just had the best time.
Yeah.
And there were so many people who hadn't been to Woodford before. But to do that, and I did some, since that time I've been able to work with the fire choir at Woodford as well, which
Yes.
is always a real highlight.
That's right. You were
each year.
were you conducting
I
the?
help out with the conducting
Okay.
and do some solo singing.
Fabulous.
Which is a little bit daunting, but I usually get to hide behind things on the ground. I still get nervous if I have to sing.
Sure, sure. How did you go about deciding? Oh, I think I might be the conductor of a choir. How does that work?
Yeah, that was an accident.
Okay. All right.
So I had young children, and I think Eli was about 1, and I wanted to sing in a choir because I just wanted something to do for myself. And I remember finding this choir when it was under different leadership,
Yes.
and called up and booked an audition, which you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove up, and I was too scared to get out of my car,
Oh, Dani.
so I sat in my car and then I drove home.
Oh, really? Did you do
Yeah, I
that?
was so nervous.
That's
So
incredible.
I waited for 6 months, and then I came back
Yeah.
to the next audition. And while I was sitting in my car, the musical director's wife rang me and said, "We're just waiting for you. Are you here yet?" I'm like, "Oh, busted!" So I had to go inside, and I auditioned, and I was successful. So I just loved singing in this
Yes.
choir. Like it when you have a busy life, and my life at the time was pretty difficult, I remember, and you could go in there with a completely empty fuel tank, emotional fuel tank, and it would come out and it would be full to the brim, and that would last you all through to the next week, and you just keep doing that. So
How wonderful.
it was really good. And so I was just happy singing in my little alto section, and the musical director said, "Look, you've got a bit of a knack for music, you know, I can tell that you've got a good ear. Would you like to learn how to do this?" And I went, "No." "No, I can't do that. This is ridiculous." He went, "No, we'll take it slowly. We'll take a couple of years, and I'll train you in how this works." So I was a reluctant student,
Yeah.
but I really appreciated, he had a really great way of mentoring, and I learnt a lot. So when he moved to interstate, he said, "Would you like the choir?" And I went, "Ooh, no, thank you. I can't do this. I can't take this on. This is huge." And he took me into it, and I did, and it saved my life.
Isn't that fantastic?
It really did.
So you must see that with other members of your choir. I mean, clearly going from sitting in your car, bailing and driving home,
Yeah.
to now being the conductor of the choir is obviously
Yeah.
a significant emotional growth that you've had
Yes,
as a
yeah.
result of that. So you must see that in some of your
I
participants.
so do. Yeah, we have such a diverse and interesting and fantastic bunch of people who there's no two that are the same. So they've all
Sure.
got different lifestyles and journeys, and but they all talk about how grateful they are to be part of a group which collaborates to provide such a gift to people and to themselves. It's
Because
Yeah,
there is
it's
a lot going
enriching.
on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
To be, I know from myself, I love being part of something that's larger than myself,
Yeah.
where what we produce is significant and enjoyed by many,
Yeah.
and how that collaboration element is a way of learning how to work with people and understand people and and be compassionate and welcoming and so forth. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
and
all that happens.
You know, they talk about having a community, but it sounds a bit naff and stuff, but it is a family.
It's a family.
It's a family of people who love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
How
fantastic.
beautiful
and
is
for that
that?
to fall into my lap at that particular time in my life is just precisely what I needed.
Yes.
And it was just such a gift. You know, the dudes at choir, because they're a crazy bunch of people and they're pains in the ass most of the time. I love them to death, but they talk way too much and they're like recalcitrant children. But they say, you know, we're so grateful to have you. And I go, no, I'm actually really grateful to have you guys, because it's just such a reciprocal gift that we give each other.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
And I get to listen to this beautiful music that they produce.
Yeah.
And I think the addictive part of that for me, as the person standing at the front, is that I can mould that, and it's like it's like magic.
Sure. Do you do much professional development training in terms of choir?
I'm reading and watching and learning all of the time.
Yeah.
There are some absolute masters in the world at this craft,
I'm sure.
and just by watching how they do it, I can watch it for hours and pick up things. Gordon Hamilton is the conductor of the Australian Voices, and he's an incredible person to watch conduct, because he just has his whole, he encapsulates every part of his body is in it, you know, and the sound that he gets out of his choir is incredible. Have mind blank there. Jonathan
We all
Welch,
do that.
watching Jonathan Welch conduct with Choir of Hard Knocks. He's fantastic as well.
Yes, I've seen some of that. And that's a whole body thing, isn't it? And you're communicating, I mean, obviously everyone knows what it is that they're singing and you've practiced and so forth, but it's the nuances that you're conveying with...
It's the colour.
Okay, and
the,
there's
things
and the richness
called,
of it.
Yeah, that's right. And I learned something just recently from Mitch Meyer, who's a tenor conductor who did a masterclass with us, and it was really beneficial. But he was explaining to my choir, the conductor's job is not only to hear what's happening in front of you and it make small adjustments and get what they want to hear out, but they're also listening to the crowd, and they're also being aware of how the audience is responding, and if you need to put different elements in it to help them enjoy it more, or to reduce things, to, you know, create a different tension. So and I wasn't aware that I did that, and I went, oh, you do. You actually really do that.
Yeah.
So it's such a multimodal craft.
I think when you are working in something that you clearly have not just a passion but a real gift at, there are elements that maybe you're not aware of that you're just doing intuitively.
That's right, that you don't know, you haven't put into words before that happen. So it's a pretty lucky thing to do.
Now, you brought some things for us to have a look at.
Because you said bring some things.
Yeah, I did.
Because
What I really love these days is our guests bringing things for the table. And of course, last week I ate a lot of cheese, which was fabulous. But please.
So what I've brought are things from my trade, I guess. So these are pitch pipes.
Okay.
Because we're an a cappella choir, we don't have piano accompaniment. We just sing.
Yep.
So our music is voice.
Yep.
But to sing well and in pitch,
yes,
you know. So this is my standard one. This is a German pitch pipe, which is
some people would call it a harmonica.
An harmonica. Is it A or an?
Well, I would say
that's a MASH reference. Not many people would get that. But
I would say A.
Yeah. So if I was going to introduce a song which is in the key of A, we'd blow an A, and it just slides down.
Oh, okay.
And gets whichever pitch you want.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's one of top of the market sort of ones, I guess, because its pitch is very good.
Yeah, and it still fits in your back pocket.
It does, and you look like a cool muso.
Yeah. So it's not like lugging around a
piano,
keyboard or something like that. Yeah. That's good.
This is sort of your base entry level. This is the first one that I got, and I use it at school because the kids like. I have a choir at school as well with children, and they like sometimes picking it out and spitting in it. So this is my. I mean, bless them, they're intrigued by it.
They're just sharing the love, really, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's got a very different.
Yeah.
This is a lot crisper.
Yeah,
You get the pitch a lot crisper with that. But this is good. When you're on stage, it's rare sometimes that women's clothing have pockets, and I know that that's a universally unfair thing.
It's a thing.
Drives me nuts.
Check your clothing now, women out there. Do you have pockets?
We need pockets.
We need pockets.
We need pockets.
Yeah, pockets in dresses.
So this fits in the bra. If you need to poke it down there to rip out, get your next note for the next song.
Perfect. That's perfect.
This is my favourite though. This I would say from a burning house. This is 150 years old.
Wow,
it's the first type of pitch pipe. So it's from Czechoslovakia.
Yes.
And it was found by a really good friend of mine in the base. I'm pretty sure it was in the base of this Japanese harp case that they came across, and they lifted up the fabric at the bottom, and this was hidden in it. And he gave it to me, and he said, "I'm not really sure what it is, but would you like it?" And I went, because I could see the musical symbols on the top, and I'm thinking, I think that might, and this. So whichever
that's
key you
so
want,
cool.
So it's a pitch pipe, and I researched it, and it's the first type that was ever designed for its purpose. So I have it on some lovely, expensive elastic, and this is what I can wear around my neck.
Yes.
So you just can't. It's not very good for outside gigs because I'm not sure if you can see those numbers, but they keep getting smaller.
Yeah, they are getting. I have glasses. I have the benefit of augmented vision.
Yes.
And but they're still pretty
small. So it's a bit hard to see at night time.
Yes. Yeah, that's amazing though. Yeah. I don't know if you can. I'm just going to twist that around. I can imagine Mick Conway playing that on stage, actually.
Yeah. So they're the tools of my trade. All I need is one of those, and the rest of it's in my head.
Yeah.
So we can.
And you're practicing weekly, and
we practice at the moment. It's pretty busy because we have the tour group rehearsals, so we're rehearsing on the weekend.
Yes.
Before our main rehearsal on a Wednesday night, and then I have the normal choir rehearsal on a Wednesday night.
Okay.
And then I have children's choir on a Wednesday morning, and then I work full time as well. So it's a bit on the go at the moment. And
when do you leave for the European tour?
It's a month today for me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
I'm taking a week off before the tour starts. I haven't been to Europe before. I haven't done a lot of travelling. I had kids fairly young, so I'm new to this travelling gig. So my friend and a couple of girls from choir, we decided that to acclimatise, it's only fair that we spend a week in Italy before the tour starts.
Only fair. What a sensible woman you are, Dani. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
Wonderful
I'm known
work.
for being sensible often.
Totally.
So we're going to fly to Rome, and then we've hired a car. We're going to drive through Tuscany and head up to Venice.
Very nice. So, and then you've got 2 weeks in Europe for the
touring,
tour?
Yeah.
When can we see you when you get back here?
We get back on the 6th I get back on the 6th of October.
And you've got some gigs lined up?
We have, our next gig is with the Horizon Festival.
So,
we're singing
that's before you go?
Yeah, the Dinner en Noir.
Oh, are you?
Yes,
Dinner en Noir.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone needs to go to that. It's going to be a fabulous.
So good this year. We sang last year as well, and they wanted a whole new lineup this year, but they said they liked us so much they wanted us back. No. Flattery will get you us.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we're cheap like that. But we just had a hoot at that gig last year.
Sure.
It was the atmosphere was so dynamic.
Yeah.
The timing not so much because we were battling the lorikeets in the library forecourt.
And that happens? It's either lorikeets or bats. Honestly.
But this year they've got us on at 8:50, so the lorikeets should have
be asleep.
Had a bit napping.
Yes. Good. Excellent. Yeah. So Dinner en Noir at C Square at Horizon.
Yeah, on the 1st of September.
And then later in the year?
Later in the year we do have a number of gigs. I can't think of them offhand.
That's okay. We might. Have you got
we have a Facebook
social media
page.
Excellent.
Which sometimes is monitored. No, New World Rhythm on Facebook. And we'll be posting a lot of stuff from the tour.
I'm sure you will.
So people can
making us pea green with envy.
Yeah. So we've got some wonderful people who take care of. That's the best thing for me as well, because I am, a single working mum.
Yes.
I have a committee of volunteers who look after all of the administration stuff. They
that's brilliant.
Uniform, fees, everything, and they're
Well, it's a team. I mean, it is a team. It is a family, and everyone has their role, don't they?
Yeah. And they're very bossy with me sometimes because they made the mistake of going into rehearsal last week being very unwell. And about halfway through, they all got very stroppy and sent me home.
Go home.
They did.
Yeah, well, fair enough too. Yeah. You've got something significant coming up. You don't want to be sick overseas. That's the last thing you need. Yeah. That's wonderful. Well, look, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It was so lovely to hear about all of your work and the excitement of the trip and I really love that growth. I didn't know anything about that first audition and bailing. That surprises me. I would never have thought that of you.
No, it took a long time to build up that nerve or that whatever that I needed to build up.
I think we all face that on some level at some point in our lives, don't we?
Yeah.
And that the first time is not necessarily going to be the time it happens, and it can happen after that.
But working those muscles, you asked me about how to do the conducting at the prison.
Yes.
And it's probably just because I had worked those muscles and I just went,
I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, one of the things I like to impart with any kids that I work with or kids of my own is that ability to just give things a go and to have resilience around it.
Yes.
That's a really important life lesson.
And the more often you do it, the easier it becomes to put that extra little bit of difficulty in.
That's right. Or fake it till you make it. That works too.
Oh yeah, well, that's my whole life actually. Welcome to Stories from the Red Couch. So thank you. Thanks for being here. And we will come back next week. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and share Dani's story. Jump onto New World Rhythm Facebook page and follow their journey. If you haven't bought tickets to Dinner on Noir, do that right now because I know they're going quick. And in fact, the whole Horizon Festival here on the Sunshine Coast is going to be fantastic. So head along to something that's being offered. And I will see you next week. So thank you for joining us.
Have we bought our tickets?
No.
We should.
That's going to be for the after bit, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's 18 plus.
Yeah. Oh, Dinner on Noir?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh.
Because it's all, risky cabaret stuff.
Oh.
Except for the World Music Choir.
I'll just have to buy a fake ID.
How are they going to know?
You could pass.
You'd pass.
Yeah.
No one's going to check.
Just pretend to be the bouncer.
I'll go up to the master's office.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Just get a shirt that says security.
Yeah, you'll be right.